Life is a vicious cycle for Felipa Gonzalez. She enjoys her job at Thompson Seed Potato, but is worn down by the 12-plus-hour workdays 6 days a week. She'd like to get a better job with shorter hours, but thinks she doesn't speak English well enough to get hired. Being her family's main source of income, she can't quit her job, and at the end of a long day, there's just no time for English lessons. Workdays are sometimes up to 15 hours a day. Work in the refrigerated Quonset is cold, wet, and repetitive. Felipa's job is to hand-cut seed potatoes on a conveyor belt that the machine cutter missed. Seed potatoes are potatoes that are cut up and replanted to grow more potatoes. As potatoes whiz by, she stands for hours at a time, picking and slicing. Felipa and her co-workers, many of whom are family members, clean the machines in between each batch of potatoes, leaving their shoes and feet soaking wet. Before Thompson Seed Potato, Felipa and her husband were migrant farm workers. They lived in Mexico but would travel to Washington and Nebraska to find work in the fields. When the couple had their first child, they joined family in Alliance, Nebraska and settled down. They continued to work in the fields, but it became more and more difficult to find work. When the use of Roundup-ready beet seeds became popular with beet farmers, the jobs of thinning and weeding the fields was done by chemicals instead of hand labor. Felipa says she and her family are very fortunate to have found jobs at Thompson Seed Potato when work in the fields began disappearing. Felipa says she is happy to provide a better environment for her children to grow up in. She works 9 to 10 months straight, then the family vacations to their home in Mexico after the harvest. The family's small amount of free time is spent with each other, nourishing their family bonds and culture. When Felipa's one day off a week has passed, it's back to work. She wakes daily at 4:30 a.m. to make homemade tortillas for her family. She packs lunch for herself, her husband, and 3 kids, and then dresses for work. Clad in layers of denim and flannel, she makes the 30-minute drive to the Thompson Seed Potato Farm with her sister, who also works there. Semi-loads of potatoes begin moving in and out immediately. Breaks come at lunch, and sometimes when a machine breaks down, but are mostly avoided by the bosses and crew. More breaks means longer work days. The workers say minutes can sometimes seem like hours, which leaves plenty of time for the mind to wander. The bosses and workers push to use as many hours of the day and move as many potatoes as possible to meet quotas. Finally, the workday's end has come, and Felipa heads home to her family.